Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Royer's World. We are here on this happy Saturday. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you for joining me. Listen, y'all, I have been watching this Netflix series, Survival of the Thickest, and oh my goodness, I've totally been enjoying it. The writers are excellent. These writers are doing the darn thing. The actors and actresses are really giving the writers and the characters exactly what they were meant to give. I am loving it. I have just this episode really had me thinking and had my wheels turning because so much happened. But we're going to get into it in just a moment. But let me give a shout out to those who are here with me. Hello, Miss Wilson. Happy Saturday to you. I hope all is well. Hey, Bianca. Happy Saturday. Hey, Auntie Robin. I hope all is well. Hey, Handy B. Hey, Briere. Happy Saturday. I love you. And Diva, right on time every time. Thank you, boo. Listen, we love you too, honey. Y'all, what y'all been up to today before we get into this? Today, I went and got my hair blown out and I got my ends trimmed. I watched episode 3 and 4. I made me a little lunch this afternoon. I had some noodles and yeah, it's been a good Saturday. I'm glad to be here, glad to be alive and well and in the land of the living, okay? So I have dropped the link down in the comment section. So if you would like to come up, here is the link right here. If you've been watching, come and join me. We are reviewing episodes 3 and 4 of Survival of the Thickest, y'all. This episode, for some reason, not for some reason, but I really relate to this show because being a thick guy, I totally understand, it's a little different out here in the world when you're a thickums. You don't have the affordability, if you may, of, smaller people. And Mavis was really triggered by her ex. We can just kind of catch up a little bit while people are still coming in. Mavis was triggered by her ex-boyfriend, Jock, for he cheated on her with a skinny woman, and it bothered her because, as we're going to be talking about in this new episode, her and Jock meet up and they have a conversation. Where is the link? I put it up on the thing. Hold on, let me drop it again. Okay, there's the link. There's the link. So, yeah, so she is still, going through, trying to figure out her life as now a newly single woman at 38. She's been with this man for 9 years. They were together for 5 and then lived together for 4, so 9 years. I mean, mama has been through a lot. It's been a lot going on, y'all. So we got to get into this. I'm gonna bring my people in the building. Auntie Diva, hello.
Oh, you trying to start the party without me? You ain't
I
text
thought I
me,
had
called
dropped it.
me,
I'll be
send
trying to
me.
get it together. Don't do that. Don't do that on this Saturday. Don't do that.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna be good on Saturday.
We have
That's what I'm
company
gonna
in the
do.
room. We handle our family business behind closed
Okay,
doors.
you right. You right. I messed up. You right. You right. True that. True that. Okay.
Listen, Savannah, welcome in the building, honey.
Hey, Savannah.
Happy Saturday, Diva. Happy Saturday, Royer.
It's
Happy
Saturday.
Saturday.
Listen, y'all, I know I reviewed episodes 1 and 2 last week, and I was just kind of giving a recap. So far, how are y'all feeling about the show if you've been watching, and what are your thoughts on episode 1 and 2?
I am in love with this show. I absolutely love Michelle. I introduced it to my daughter and we binge watched it together. And so she binge watched it at work and I love the message that she had to share. I didn't think it was too launching, and I know that survival of the thickest, and I love her message that she that Michelle had to share: be comfortable in your own skin.
Mm,
Mhm.
And I think that's something that we all struggle with,
mhm,
regardless of whether you're whatever you identify yourself with, whether you're in this conversation that is occurring now in our social circles, whether you're trans or cis or I just I'm absolutely floored with this conversation that's going on. And I haven't been following it much, but I did hear your show the other day with the or I think it was Sherelle's show. I apologize, with the trans cis conversation that's going on. But the young man explained it so well the other day, which I appreciated him. He gave me a better understanding. But Survival of the Thickest, I love her humor and her best friends and her support group. And so I absolutely love how she is finding her true self. And her roommate is exactly who she
Whew.
needs in
We
her.
praying for Jade, honey. We praying for Jade, cause and cocaine the cat and cocaine the cat.
I didn't know we could say that this early, so I didn't want to say it, but oh
It's
my
okay.
God. But that cat, I was just like, oh my. Because yeah, that's a little much for, especially trying to get over the relationship. So I'm really glad that she did not go back to the old and decided to explore the new, because the young gentleman that she decided to when
We're
she
gonna get
went
into
back.
that just a second, cause that's
Oh,
the
that,
next
oh, okay. See,
episode.
I jumped all the way to the
You
end. See, I'm
good?
sorry.
You are
Because
good.
I've been watched that and I was all into it. Okay, so yeah,
Yes, you are
excellent.
good.
Yes.
But I do
Mm-hmm.
like how you brought up that or the transgender, that whole conversation, because that is a
Mm-hmm.
very big factor in this
Mm-hmm.
show. Because if we will
Mm-hmm.
see in this episode that she is dressing her first queen, styling her first
Mm-hmm.
outfit. So we're gonna get into that in just a second. You better
Yes.
hang some wallpaper, Savannah. Yes, ma'am. All right now. Let me find out you in the design, okay?
I am, because
Okay.
I am waiting for I am also waiting for our next version of Mr. Jay Shetty's conversation this afternoon. Correct, Miss Diva?
That's correct,
Yes, that will
correct,
be this
correct, correct.
afternoon. So,
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Auntie,
You know,
if you
go
can go
ahead.
ahead and talk about your book review and then share what your thoughts and opinions are about the first and
Well,
second
let me
episode.
share first what we're here for, Survival of the Thickest.
Yes.
You know, Netflix is doing a really good job of,
Mm.
giving good programming. I will say that, right? Because
Mhm.
we have gotten
Oh, I think she froze.
Uh-oh.
since,
Uh-oh. You freezing. You
oh,
freezing up. Okay, you
I'm
back.
better now.
You
And
back.
I hardwired myself in.
You
Come on,
back.
you
It may
better
have been just
stop.
a second. You back though.
Okay, okay. So Netflix is doing an amazing job of giving us good programming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have gotten so used to reality TV, and I watch it, so I'm including myself in this, right? Reality TV is like garbage. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where it is not feeding our soul. And I think the overall message in this whole series, and you said it, Savannah, is loving yourself as you are in this current moment. I lived a long time saying, like, oh, when I lose weight, I'm gonna do this. When I get another job, I'm gonna do this. When I make more money, I'm gonna do this. I lived a good portion of my life like that. And I pray to God that everyone else does not, right? And I tell my son all the time, live your best life, have fun, because I don't want him to get into that period of his life so late in his life, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so the character, I just love the way that she's okay being thick.
Mm-hmm.
She loves herself.
Mm-hmm.
She knows her worth. Because
Mm-hmm.
even see, I'm sorry, Raya, because I don't want to blend too many episodes, but I know the whole thing overall. Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
she denied taking the job for Garcelle's character for $10,000 a
Natasha.
month.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was like so proud of her, because sometimes we lose our dreams over money, if I'm
Yes.
making sense, right?
Mhm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna stay here at this job because I'm making so much money, but even though I know my dream is to do something else. So I think this series has such good underlining messages, especially when it comes to relationship with your friends, relationships with your significant other. It has so many great messages in it. And that's another reason why I loved, when I say love, this show. And I also love the way her friendship group was, right? Because
Mhm.
Yes.
they were there for each other through thick and thin, and they didn't judge each other. And that's a good friend, right? So,
Mhm.
me and my friendship group, like my friend would tell me anything, I could tell her anything, and it's like no judgment, but we do correct each other. So there's a difference, right?
Mhm.
It's no judgment. You did it. It is what it is. But now we're gonna get in recovery mode because I gotta correct you because what you did was wrong, right?
Period.
So my girlfriend would tell me all the time. I call her, be on man, I be this, they did this, they and I said, and she listens to me. She said, "Girl," she said, "You know you gotta go apologize." But I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What? But what was wrong with I said?" And then I repeated. I said, "Girl, did you hear what I said? Do you know what happened?" And she said, "No, but you was a little off. You need to apologize." And I appreciate a friendship like that because you will never really grow if you don't have people in your life that's telling you the truth and telling you when you messed up and when you did something wrong and when you should let go of your pride and go apologize to somebody,
Absolutely.
because apology
But
can.
also a good friend that'll tell you when it's time to move on and let go too.
Ooh, child.
Absolutely.
Because that is
Absolutely.
what, since we're going into it, that is what exactly what Marley really helped. Marley and Khalil really
Mhm.
helped Mavis to push. First, Khalil, he came and helped Marley move out of the house,
Yes, he did.
packed up her stuff,
And
and he
took
was
the
like,
jacket.
"Don't look back, honey. You got
Mhm.
this. You good." And
Mhm.
Mhm.
so Marley as well, helping her out financially, helping her out. They did the vision boards together. I thought that was,
Mhm.
oh my gosh. So as we're getting into episode 3, this episode was called "You Did What in Public, Bitch?" Okay, that's what she said. So
Mhm.
Marley and Mavis normally work out together. Well, Marley has decided to join Khalil along to the workout. And so, like you said, Diva, I like how they are cohesively building the friendship together now, because they see Mavis is single. They're going to be hanging out more. So they want to, Mavis is trying to bring the friendship group together. So Mavis now has 2 clients, okay? She left her old job, stepped out on faith. She's got new clients, 2 new clients. She's got 3,000 followers on social media. There is hashtag growth going on
There
in the
you go.
building, okay? So,
Mhm.
they're working out, they're meeting up, they're smoking, they're brunching, they're doing their thing, okay? So, Mavis shares how she went to the bodega, and she met a guy, and she's just kind of flirting around and doing things and seeing what's new in her life. Okay, so
But the
Mavis ends up going down to the bodega to get Pop Tarts, y'all,
the
and so
guy at the bodega was not of age, though. We
well, they get down there and she needs the Pop Tarts. Now, the last time she went to the bodega, she ain't had no money. So, she had to come back with the coin this time. And so she gets the coin, she's getting the Pop Tarts, and, it's a little too high on the shelf. He comes over to help her out. He grinding up on her. They doing their thing. Mama walk in the room and she loses it. What are you doing? You have inappropriately touched my son. He
my
was pure,
baby.
now he's impure, and all of this food. I'm like,
That's
girl,
my
like
baby.
what? She said he's 21, and the look on Mavis's face,
That's my baby.
I was like, Mavis, not
Child,
the
that would
baby.
be me. Get off my baby.
Get off my
That's my
You
baby,
baby.
hussy. You hussy.
right? Child. So Mavis is now dressing her first queen. She's
Mm.
a full
Yeah.
outfit. And I really do love, like I said a little earlier, how they are cultivating the culture into this show of exactly what we are experiencing today. And so I love that, as she stated, working with Natasha for the first time, she wants to dress people for them to feel comfortable in their body, whatever they choose for their body to look like. And so I love that she does not judge. She does not, She tries to, keep it together, but she doesn't judge what the client wants. And so, this young lady, she wanted her boobs out. She wanted to shake and jiggle and give it all it can. Well, this is where Khalil walks into the room. And so you love that. Khalil has painted some boots for her. And y'all, I love Khalil and his artistry. Like, to paint a pair of boots to look like an actual painting, like I've never seen that before, and it was just amazing to me. Okay, so they go over to the dance club. She's dancing, she's giving, she's doing, and she shimmies and shakes a little too much, and she had a Janet Jackson moment. I said, "Not Janet, not Janet." And so the boobs popped out, and Mavis grabs a tie from this gentleman named Lucas, flirts with him for a second, runs to the back, fixes our friend's outfit. And so, I'll stop there and we can talk about this scene for a second. So, Savannah, I'll start off with you. What was your thoughts and opinions on those three scenes? We're at the workout, the bodega, and the club scene.
So, first of all, the bodega was hilarious because it was off the bat. I could tell. I thought he was 18. I didn't think he was 21. Off the bat, I knew he was a baby, and it was hilarious that it turned out to be their landlord, and it was just I cracked up at the sight of her face. But I have a friend group, and we every Martin Luther King weekend we get together and we have a vision board party. So we have a brunch. We get together. We do our vision boards. We present our vision boards. We and then come Easter, the weekend before Easter, we come back and we hold each other accountable. What do we accomplish from that our vision board party? And if we haven't seen any growth, then we kind of support each other. And if someone is going through something, then we kind of hold each other accountable. We support each other, and we. So I see Khalil and some of his mannerisms and how he supports Mavis throughout. Um, Even with him taking the Fendi jacket, I see one of my best friends is just like Khalil. It was just, oh my God, it was hilarious. So it's just, so I see Khalil, one of my dear friends. So, um, and I've never tried running and smoking the good, so I don't see how that works. But
Yeah, I didn't get that either. I was like, aren't you on the
that's that's different, but okay, I guess that works. That's new, but I don't think we do that. We do a lot of hiking actually tomorrow morning. We That's one of our we do that once a month. So we actually have our gathering tomorrow morning and we go hiking. We Where our goal is to do 8 miles before Labor Day weekend. So tomorrow morning we're gonna go hiking for 4 miles. Um, so um, so I see that, but we don't do the hiking and smoking at the same time. That's interesting. And the club scene is hilarious, but absolutely, I love their energy and their focus. So, and how one of the things that resonated with me with Mavis when when Garcelle thought that she needed the waist trainer in order
Yes.
to present herself, and Mavis had told her, you don't need that. And when she finally accepted that she didn't need it and they had that struggle, I seen that how we all thought that we needed in order to wear that dress or wear that outfit. And we wouldn't go out unless we found that perfect waist trainer. And I know I've been to many Macy's or even unless I found that perfect Spanx, I wouldn't go out in that outfit. And um, it took a lot, and I saw that moment that where Garcelle finally, and she looked amazing in that dress, and we've been through that moment that that Mavis finally let Garcelle know you didn't need that. You looked amazing. You can breathe. You didn't need to wear that waist trainer or that bustier or that torture. Because women, we do put that torture. And I'll share something really quick. And I haven't seen it yet, but I know you went to go see it, Royer, the Barbie movie. And my daughter shared something with me this morning, the America Ferrera monologue from the Barbie movie. And she shared it with me this morning, and I actually cried about being a woman and how difficult it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that resonated with me, and where we never win. And so I see that and how it ties into this as well. And if you haven't seen it yet, Diva, I implore you to actually look for that monologue and read it. And it is very powerful. It should be on T-shirts, on billboards. And I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about, Royer, but it's resonating with a lot of women, and it is something that also ties into this show as well. So, um, but yes, I absolutely love it.
You gotta email it to me if you can. I would definitely love to see it. And I was never one. I can't be restrained, right? I can't be like I can't have extra. Like I could wear a tight top, but I can't wear something underneath that's tight and then a tight top too, right? Like I can't feel like that for whatever reason. And then one time, because I think I shared it with y'all like recently, I just went to a size that I was like never been in my life. And so I was going somewhere and I was like, all right, let me get the close your ears 1 second, Roya. I said, let me get the panty girdle, right? Listen, halfway through my bed, I said, well, she got to go. I went in the bathroom. I took that thing off. My girlfriend had to come with me. I had to suck, tuck, and whatever so she could zip my outfit back up. But I said, I don't care what we do. I'm not putting this thing back on. I just felt I was just too restrained. But you're right. I love that scene when she told Garcelle, her character, like, you don't need this. You don't need this. You're good, right? And I just love the whole show. I also love, of course, the bodega scene because that was hilarious, right? Because I wasn't expecting that before I saw that episode. Because Royer was ahead of me. I said, "Oh, that's gonna be her new boyfriend, the guy." He was like, he said, wait and see. And then when I saw, I was like, oh my God, I was dying laughing just like you. And Savannah is interesting, just like you. Every year I have a vision board party in my house. It's in January. We
Mhm.
don't say we're going to follow up or we don't. And it's in conjunction with my niece and my sisters. You know what? Thank you, Erin. I see you sent it to me. You know what? I'm going to do a follow up because I just think it's a great thing. And I also, I also put everything I want to do on my vision board. Like I put stuff about the YouTube channel, all of that. And so we do always encourage each other. We have a good lunch when we do the vision board. And I think it's a great thing. And it sits at a desk in my other room, like it's on the wall. So I see it all the time. Right. But to kind of go back to the show, the fact that she was brave enough to step out and do her own thing is huge. And
Mhm.
I really encourage so many people to do it. Now, I do know it's a little bit more scarier and difficult when you already have a family that you're responsible for.
Mhm.
You have bills you got to pay. It's like, okay, I can't make all of these people suffer because I'm trying to do XYZ. But for those individuals, I would say do it after work, do it in your off hours, do it at night. You understand what I mean? Because there's always room. You can always find time to work on your dream, even if it's only 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 15 minutes a day, whatever you have to start out with. You got to just do it because if you don't, you never will. So definitely like the way her friend came over and helped her move out. especially because I was in a similar situation as such, and my girlfriend came over there and she helped me move my stuff, and it's a very emotional time period that you go through, and that's why it's great to have good friends. That's all I could say. Because
Mhm.
they will hold you up, lift you up, and get you through some of the worst moments in your life and be with you for the great moments in your life too. Because
Mhm.
as we're going to see, those that group of friends, and it's just beautiful to see.
It
And even
is.
sometimes when these networks do shows, it's like, you get the friends stabbing the friends in the back, but these are all friends that love each other, that's embracing each other, and that are just there for each other. And it's just a really amazing thing.
Yes. So speaking of embrace and love, Marvis ends up going out on a date with Luca. And so Luca, her and Luca, they go do their own thing. And so Marley and Khalil end up getting stuck together at the dinner table. And so, prior to that, Marley has been complaining about her therapist and how she paying this therapist all this money, and she ain't really telling her what she need to hear, or really, in my opinion, what she wants to hear, but don't want to actually do.
Agree.
Um, So, she's complaining to Khalil, talking to Khalil about it. And so she says, or Khalil says, I agree with your therapist. You need to try some new things. You need to get outside of your box. And I feel like, Marley has really been stuck in this box of I'm a boss. I got to be in control. I got to have this. I got to have that. I'm really curious of what her previous relationship was like, because she just seems like that she's at a stage in her life where nothing and no one is going to hold her down or hold her back. So, I'm curious to see what was going on in that previous relationship as to why she can't really dig into herself and cultivate and find out what's going on with Marley specifically. So they end up going over to Khalil's paint studio. And so, Khalil's like, you need to paint. I want you to paint, She's like, I ain't doing that. That's for the kids, da 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 da. He says, here's this canvas. You gonna paint today. She said, well, if I gotta paint, you need to go over there and paint some boots and sell them, okay? Because Kitty came over to the table earlier and offered $500 for a pair of boots and some booty, and he turned it down, okay? He turned down the booty and the boots. He said he don't roll like that, but he thanks her, and he don't charge for the boots. He does it out of the kindness of his heart. This is where the one place that I realized about Khalil, that he's very humble. He's a humble young man. He just want to make sure his bills is paid. He can take care of his mama, and he's good. So I love the humbleness in him, because it's rare that we see male characters in a show that are just so humble and cool with the simple things in life. So that really stood out to me about Khalil. Okay. So Luca and Mavis go out to dinner. And, Mavis has shared with Luca, she's 38. She's newly single. She just got out of a 9-year relationship, and she's trying to figure this thing out. And I thought it was very funny to me. Now, when a man or, somebody asks me out on a date, I'm assuming that you're paying. So I'm going to order whatever on the menu. But Mavis said, I need to see the prices on the menu, because if I'm going to pay for this meal, I got to know how much I can spend. So that cracked me up. And he was just such a gentleman about it. He said, well, we're going to do what the Americans do. We're going to dine and dash. Now, personally, I've never dined and dashed before, but I've always wanted to do it just to feel the rush of like of a dine.
No, Royer, no. You don't do that. No.
I was like, okay, that's what the Americans do. Okay, all right. So, Mavis begins to share, just open up about her career. And yet again, she talks about, why she fell in love with fashion. She remembers being a little girl and seeing all the skinny women on TV, and they were able to wear the pretty colors and the pretty outfits. And she just wanted to create clothing that was beneficial, where everybody of every type can wear pretty clothes, pretty outfits to whatever they feel makes them feel comfortable. She asks what Luca does, and so Luca works for a nonprofit for those who are refugees. his parents were refugees, and he was able to, get into America and make a life for them. And so now he does the same to help others who are in that situation, who are immigrants and who come to the state. Okay, so I think I'll finish this off and then we'll stop. Marley and Khalil, they finished their painting. Now this scene was hilarious to me too. Okay, so Marley is asking, I think I've done it. I think I did, what I needed to do. She was like, I know I was resisting, but it turned out some. So she was like, the boots is cute. You have a good night. He offers her a ride to the subway. Marley says, the subway. And that's why I was like, you know what? I think out of all the characters, I am all the way Marley, like all the way.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh, you bougie like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Marley. I'm Marley. So Mavis and Lucas, they finished dinner. And well, let me stop before I go there. So let's talk about those few scenes. Diva, Auntie Diva, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on those?
Well, I love the way, number one, that he helped her kind of loosen up a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do think any form of, whether it's yoga, whether you're exercising, any form of being creative, I think it helps you calm your mind, right? Sometimes we can drive ourselves absolutely crazy. And a lot
Mm,
of experts, their first thing they tell you is yoga. Yoga does so much more for you mentally, physically,
mm,
than anybody can ever imagine. And if you just find yourself being out of sorts, take a yoga class, or hey, put a YouTube video on and try to do that yoga and just calm your mind. Meditation and calming your mind is always going to be the answer. And sometimes you can calm your mind by doing some creative arts, even if you can't draw, paint, or whatever. It's just something about it. But listen, check before you listen. Let me tell you something. I ain't no Diner Dash chick, and yes, I do feel too that if somebody is going to, if somebody is offering you, as a partner, as a romantic date or whatever, to take you out, I'm very old fashioned with that. Then I ain't even asking, and my expectation is, yes, you gonna pay, right? And I will be shocked and probably pass out if you even look at me for a dime, dollar, or nickel. Okay. It's like I'll be like, huh, what just happened here? Don't call me again. So we gonna stick to tradition in this world when it comes to me, right? Court the woman, court me. But I like the way that they're always supporting each other through this movie. It's like, I came over here and you're helping me, but indirectly, she ends up helping him, because she was like, listen, stop knocking off. You know your worth. Like, this is your artistry. This is what you want to do, but get paid for it, right? Paint those boots or whatever, and make your money. I just really love the humbleness of him. I love that, although he was kind of running around being a hoe, so to speak, that
mm,
because he's ducking and diving like every past, one night stand or whatever he had,
mm,
like, out the show. And I think it's hilarious. Like, when he sees somebody that he slept with once or whatever on the train or whatever, like, yes, it cracked me up. Whoever wrote this show, and I know Tasha, her name is Tasha Smith, I think, in real life.
yes.
Ooh, I think she directed this. I don't know if she wrote it, but anywho, they did an amazing, when I say amazing job, how they kind of overlap and they tell us the story of many characters, but you never get lost.
Yes.
And you have a connection to all the characters.
Yes.
Sometimes you see a show and you may, like, all right, you connect to one or two people. It's like you connect to all of them. And all of them in a really, really great way. You're like, oh my God, I love this person. Oh my God, I love that person. You just fall in love with all the different characters for different reasons, right? And so I just love the fact that she told him, like, nah, paint your boots, sell your boots, like, get your money, right? And what I love about Khalil is, I love the fact that he is doing what he loves.
Mm,
he is not allowing others to define his life and what he should be doing and how much money he should be making, right? He loves to paint, and that's what he's doing. And that's what
Right.
he's teaching. And so he's living his truth, so to speak. And I think that's where a lot of his authentic of knowing of himself comes from, right? Um, and it tells you a lot about how the relationship that he got himself into and how this series ends. And I know we're nowhere near there yet. You have a strong understanding. And when it the last episode happened, I was just like, wow. I was
Wow.
like, wow.
I was
And I
shocked.
was very shocked. And I was like, wow, because I've seen that play out, right? I think, just a lot of people, they'll get into a relationship and they're not ready. And maybe sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
know that they're not ready, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you get into a relationship and you're not ready, somebody's going to end up getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to end up getting hurt. So that's why it's cool to like know yourself, and it's cool to take a break. Because we even see with Marley character, like she got into a relationship too soon, and anywho, but because we're not there yet. So it's like it's good to take a break so you can get to know yourself and make sure that you're truly over the last person. Um, before you move on, because what the last thing you want to do is hurt somebody the way you are hurting. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. Savannah, your thoughts on those last two scenes? Let's see, cause Marley needs advice. She need help. The therapist ain't doing it, and she want her friends. What advice thus far from what we have talked about, Savannah? What advice from what we've just seen with Marley? What advice could you give her?
So, so I related to the therapy scene, because she wasn't accepting what she was hearing from the therapist, because it wasn't what she wanted to hear. Um, how can I say this? Because it wasn't what she wasn't accepting it, because it wasn't what she wanted to hear. Because I was in the same situation. And after listening to Diva's panels this week, I've also had to seek other forms of meditation, um, by putting on like spa music or meditation music this week from Diva's panels. So there are other forms of therapy by seeking, like doing yoga or meditation or hiking, walking, things like that as well. So I understand Mavis by that by that scene. But as far as Marley and Khalil's relationship, what I appreciated that they chose to cultivate and also focus on, um, not making him into a 304, um, and actually investing in that relationship, and um, making sure that they invest in, how can I say this? Like he was really wanting to get to know her, and he wanted to make sure that she really wanted to really know that, because he was always the Lisa Bonet, and that scene where he ran away from the girl on the train. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my dog out of before he starts barking in here. Um, so I'll come back to me, Boyer. I'm sorry, I'm trying to kick my dog out.
You fine. You fine. So we'll
Yeah,
go
you
into the
fine. Long,
next
long as your
scene.
dog ain't commander like in the white
No, he's not.
I'm
good.
so dead. You
No,
so
I'm trying to kick her. I'm trying to kick her out the door. It's not Commander. No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to kick her out the door.
you messy. You so messy.
Oh, child, honey, they
She-
need to take them to discipline school or something out there biting the people.
No, she's not a biter. I'm trying to kick her out the door. I know it's hot, but she's trying to. I don't want her to go on my rug. I'm sorry.
You're
That's
fine.
right.
You're
You
fine.
good. So, Mavis and Lucas, they finished their date. And so they hop in the cab, they talking, they having conversation, and so, Mavis, I'm assuming they've had some drinks, and they're kissing. And so Mavis, asks if he wants some fellatio, and, he agrees to it. And so she gets to
Hilarious.
this was hilarious.
Hilarious.
She does it when Mama forgets that she has gum in her mouth and gets the gum just all twisted up down there. So they get back to her apartment, and of course, Jade is standing in the room awaiting to see what kind of mess
She too
Mavis
much.
got going on this week. Jade is way too much, way too much. So, of course, also Jade has the cure to this situation because Jade has been through everything under the sun, so she know how to take care of everything. So they needed peanut butter and ice. Of course, they didn't have any peanut butter because Cocaine the cat is allergic to peanut butter really bad. So Mavis has to run down to the bodega to get the peanut butter and ice. Well, while she's down there, she runs into the mama again. And the mama is like, get out of my store. You violated my son. He doesn't know what to do.
You hussy.
Be extra. And so Mavis was like, look, he a grown ass man. You look young. He look old. It was confusing. It was a bad situation. I'm sorry. Move on. So, they go back she goes back upstairs and handles Lucas's situation. And so Mavis is like, I'm just so sorry. Like I've been saying, I'm 38 and out of this relationship. I'm trying to figure out myself. And I just want somebody to just check on me and ask how I'm doing. Like, can we have some real grown relationship conversation? Like, let's be adults. And he's like, Mavis, how are you? And it just took her up in arms. Okay. So they had their little love scene. I think that was kind of the wrapping of this episode for the most part. Khalil goes to see Marley's picture, and oh my gosh, it was a masterpiece in my opinion. Like the abstract work, the design, I mean, it looked like nothing, but it spoke volumes. And so Marley was like, yeah, I knew I did that. Like, yes, I didn't want to brag about it, but I knew it. So it's like she's not willing to break her pride, but when somebody notices that she has put her pride out here to be seen, or not the pride, but she's put her, her vulnerability out here to be seen, that somebody recognizes it and sees that it's good work. So I truly, truly love that. That was kind of the ending of this episode. I just love to see, because at the end we went back to jogging and smoking and brunching. All of the friends are now connected together. At the beginning, Marley wasn't really understanding of why Mavis was bringing Khalil around, but at the end, she seen that all of them needed one another.
Mhm,
Full picture to come together and to make it happen. So that was
mhm.
episode 3, y'all. I totally enjoyed episode 3. Any final thoughts and opinions on episode 3 before we go to 4?
Yes, I will say the love scene, now listen, in real life, would I ever suggest meet somebody, sleep with somebody? Never. But this was Survival of the Thickest, cute little show. So what I loved about that scene was that
This is the thing though, but that's real life, Diva. That's real life. This is what goes on in 2023, honey. Clutch
Mm.
clutch them, clutch them. Look, not trying to be funny, but we see what happened to the young lady the other day who went over to the gentleman's house in the white situation.
facts.
So this is the time that we live in. This is the generation that, they feel like they're invincible. We can do whatever, whenever. Even though they're a little bit older to be doing this, but
No, you're speaking facts, right? Because someone I went out on a couple dates with, the next conversation, I was like, oh, Not me. You
Covering
was
the
not
No.
you was
touching
covering the
me.
girls up. You was
Yeah,
covering
yeah,
the
you're
girls
not
up.
gonna touching me.
And
Not
I
gonna
never knew about the peanut butter thing. I never knew about the peanut butter thing. That was new to me. I didn't know.
well, well,
I've
it's
heard it about
daytime. It's
I've heard it
daytime.
about like hair. I've never heard it down there, but
Well, I guess it
like
works anywhere, right? But who leaves the gum in their mouth when? Okay, no, we're not gonna do that. It's
Oh yeah,
daytime.
we're not going to do
well, I
that.
Okay.
have slept with gum before and it got on my pillow and it got in my hair. So
Oh, okay.
that's how I
Okay.
figured it out. I
Okay.
have done that before by accident.
Right. No, but I'm
Okay.
talking about when you about to whatever. We're gonna
Yeah.
get
Whatever.
okay.
Whatever.
So I what I loved about that scene though is they made it more, I'm gonna say personal for lack of a better word right now. Another word really wants to come out, but they made it more caring, even though they just met each other, right? Because he understood the space that she was in and he accommodated to the space that she was in. And I thought it was so touching. I really, really did. And what I also liked about it was that they're exploring, and I think that sometimes people in this world too, maybe you got to explore outside of your race, right? Because I love the mixing that they did in terms of that, right? And it was so authentic and it wasn't odd and it wasn't weird. It was just both of them being themselves, connecting and having a true connection, right? So I appreciated that. The roommate adds a whole nother comedic level to this
Mhm.
series. I mean, she's and this girl I never saw before. Great actress. She's
Mhm.
doing the darn thing because she's just as kooky as they come. Um, and she just fits in this series so well. I love her, right? I love every moment of it. Okay, so I really love her, and she just pops out of nowhere at the weirdest times. Like Mavis is sitting there having a moment, and here she comes. Like, so I just love the way they weave her into this. I think it's just perfect. In terms of Khalil, the painting, and all of that. Of course, I just love that moment too because it's like sometimes we need the people around us to tell us like you have these gifts, don't let them go to the wayside, right? Because sometimes we do lose our way, and it's like you have that friend that reminds you like you got this, like and it gives you that energy back, it gives you what you need back to continue to move forward and press forward and kind of do your thing. So I loved episode 3 a whole lot. I just overall, like I said, to anybody out there that's gonna watch this recap or watching us now, definitely watch it. How many episodes is it again? Is it 8?
I
8
think it's 8. Yeah.
episodes,
It's 8.
like
Yeah.
Your
25
time.
to 27 minutes a episode. Like they
Yeah.
try, and it's just so good. It's such
Yeah.
good writing, such good characters.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's just amazing. Savannah, your final thoughts and opinions on episode
My final opinion on episode 3 is that I love that she's realizing that although she's 38, and that she's realizing that she's independent. She's finally becoming comfortable in her own skin. She's stepping into her sexiness. She's stepping into her independence, and she is finally realizing that she's fierce, fearless, and she's just owning her womanhood. I'm just loving Mavis honestly right now. So and I just don't want to give episode 4 away because we can just jump into episode 4. And I'm loving that Marley and Khalil realize that they need each other in order to support Mavis to
yes.
yeah, so that they honestly need each other. So it's a trifecta. So they all need each other.
Mhm.
So and they realize that. So they definitely they have to in order to get each other through this series. So and I can't wait to the fall when part 2 comes back. So
I know, I'm excited. Well, let's go right into episode 4. Episode 4 is Are You Crying, Bitch? Okay.
Mm.
So everyone is getting it in at the top of the episode. We got Mavis, Khalil, and India getting it in. I don't know who Marley is getting it in with, honey, because she getting it in with everybody. And Mavis the only one that ain't she getting it in with the toilet, honey. Okay, the toilet is giving her problems, and she has had enough. So Natasha has her first another day at work with Natasha. Mavis has another day at work with Natasha, the model that she is now working with as her new client. Okay, and so Natasha is excited because there's a wedding in town. Dum 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 dum. Okay. So Mavis is designing, Natasha is telling Mavis about this wedding. It's a great event. We're super excited. It's going to be the time, the stars of the season will be there. People magazine will be shooting. Well, it's Natasha's dog who's getting married, okay? And Natasha's dog is getting married to Avis's dog. Avis was a model along with Natasha. It was giving Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks, vibes all the way between the two of them is what I was feeling, okay? So she will be shooting, doing the design for the dogs and for the two mothers who will be doing this wedding, okay? So Mavis, Marley, and Khalil, they're out eating, and they're catching up, talking about their life experiences, So Khalil opens up about, he's starting to have feelings for India, okay? Now, if you don't remember, India and him met about 8 weeks ago, according to him, down in his art studio. She in there doing her thing. They got to flirting and then they got to screwing. So, he's like, I'm really into her, she's cool, but it just seems like it's not going past screwing. It's like when we screw, that's just it. He's like, what's that thing that you call, that you do? You hold each other and sit next to each other for 5 to 27 minutes, and they're like cuddling, you stupid idiot. Like, you, like, come on. Who doesn't know about this? So he's asking advice, to Mavis and Marley on what he should do. And, Marley said, I think you should keep it casual. Mavis said, I should think you should keep it casual like I'm doing. Me and Lucas, he come into town, we do our thing. We get on the Skype, we do our thing, keep it casual. And so Marley says, hey, we live in New York. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Don't get caught up on one and get your little feelings hurt, okay? So he's like, y'all, tell me for real, what to do, okay? And so they tell him, you need to tell India that you like her, Khalil. Just be honest, be open, and let them know, okay? So today is the day of the wedding. We're at the wedding. And so Mavis is coming in, she's getting ready to style Natasha and Avery. And so as she's talking to them, one thing Natasha don't like is nobody telling Mavis what to do, okay? So Avery is like, I'm ready to get dressed. Let's go. You don't talk to Marley. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. You have to watch the full episode to catch it, okay? So as she is talking to them, walks in Jock. Now, if you don't know who Jock is, you need to go catch this series because I'm not even going to spoil it for you if you ain't been watching thus far, okay? So Khalil takes India out on a little date, okay? They go to his art studio, which I thought was weird. If you're going to take me out on a date and we're like trying to have a good time, can you take me out somewhere that we're not used to normally going? Like we met at the art studio, which is where we got our connection and having sex. So if you want us to go a little further, I'm thinking maybe we should meet somewhere else, go out, at a park, go, make pottery or something that is more like a date vibes. Us sitting in your studio where we just had sex a couple of weeks ago and having wine, I'm not cool with that because it's giving me the vibes or you still want to be screwing and having sex. So cool. That's what
a private session. It's a private session.
India, and that's how India seen it. She's seen it as a private session. Hey, but he wasn't trying to give up no privacy. No. Okay. So they're having wine, sipping, and she's like, well, are we gonna have a little good time? And he's like, no, I just want to sit here and talk to you. You want to sit and talk to me, like, and here's the thing. She has already expressed to him that she does not want to be in a relationship. She just got out of a complication situation, and she's just having fun. Last week I talked about him being, excuse my French, a fuck boy. And she has talked about that, and that's how she likes their relationship, and she wants to keep it that way. Look, but that's the problem. She don't want to sit and talk for a minute. She want to lay it down and spread it wide. So I'll talk about this scene, and then we'll stop and have a conversation. So Mavis and Jock end up in the closet together, and they're talking. And so Jock is like, I've gone to therapy. I miss you so much. I realized where I went wrong in the relationship, where we went wrong in the relationship. And she's like, you only picked this photo shoot because you knew I would be here. And, we're not here for this. We're here to do a job. You do your job. I'm going to do my job. Get out of my face. Let's go. Natasha Avery knocks on the door. She says, is everything okay? Because obviously not. We can hear everything that's going on. Mavis says, we're good. She comes out and gets back to work, okay? Now, Jock is really missing Mavis. And it's funny that, you don't miss somebody till the well run dry. Don't miss your water till your well run dry. So we'll stop there. Auntie Diva, I see that you bothered in your spirit about, my feelings about the scene with Khalil in India. Overall, how do you feel about this first part of episode 4?
And I haven't been able to close my mouth since you spoke, Roy.
Come on for the jaw droppers. Yes.
Savannah, you go ahead. You say your thoughts since I spoke first last time, and then I'll go after you. Because I'm shaking over here. But go ahead, Savannah.
I'm still like, oh my God, Roy hair. Oh, bless your heart. Oh my goodness. There is, oh Lord have mercy, where to start? Well, you had so much to say. Oh my, oh my, oh my. And then I need some water over here, Lord. Okay. Whew, Lord have mercy. A F boy. Okay, that's a lot. I think that is, first of all, I think that is romantic with him taking her to the art studio. And there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of privacy. And if she does not want to get in a relationship with the young man, then that is her prerogative. And if you got me in my feelings over here. So first of all, I wish the board would be seeing this scene so that he can see that Garcelle has some lines in this show, and that she's doing an amazing job. And Boyer, you got me all flustered over here. I don't appreciate the scenes with Marley and the young couple. I think they should have had a better storyline for her than the threesome with the youngins.
We're not there just yet. Hold on.
Oh, we ain't there yet. Okay, we didn't get there. Okay,
no,
I think okay.
The Natasha in the wedding. We're talking about Mavis and Jacques. They've ran into each other at the photo shoot for the wedding. And his girlfriend, Indy.
Okay, the Mavis and Jack, did he just pull her in the closet for the toilet? Correct.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, He pulled her in the closet because this is the first time he's seeing Mavis since they've broken up. So remember, they went to the interview. She went to the job interview that he helped her to get, and she did not want to work with him, so she turned down the job. Well, now he's shooting the photo shoot for People magazine for the 2 dogs.
Right, for the wedding.
Because he knew Mavis was going to be there and he wanted to talk to her.
Right, and then he pulled her into the closet. Yes, okay. And they can hear the whole conversation outside. Okay, got it. You got me flustered over here. I didn't think that there was an issue with him taking her into the art studio. Okay, I'm going to take a pass.
Let me say this, Savannah. Let me say this. And I said that because my thing is 9 times out of 10, where we meet, to me, I'm going to always have our first thoughts of this is where we screwed around. So anytime we're here, I'm thinking of sex. If you wanted something more than sex, I would take us to a different environment to give us a different feeling. I mean, if you're taking me back to where we the first time we did what we did, that's always going to be on my mind. Does that make sense? So that's why I'm like, he should have chose it. We could have still had wine and a sheet, but we could have did it outside this time. It was just for me. If he was trying to give her a different signal without saying, hey, I like you, if we're giving signals, a signal would have been changing the venue. Let's change up the venue. Let's, we be having wine when we be at my house screwing. Let's do something different. Let's just do something different. That's how I looked at it.
Diva, I haven't been able to close my mouth.
I'll jump in. So you know what? From your perspective, I understand what you're saying. Like, you're thinking like, see, a lot of men don't even think that deep and far and right. And you got to understand that his history was just like hers. The way they met, that's who he was, right? Because evidence of him ducking the people on the train, right? And I don't want to give away that scene when he I'll wait till we get to that episode. But anyway, right? So that's who he was. So this is something new for him too. About to tell somebody that he really likes her more than what they're used to doing, right? And he doesn't want to be that person. And so outside of like, not really thinking too deeply into this is how they met and this is where they first did it. It was a nice private area, his studio. A long time ago, I dated someone that owned their own salon, hair salon, and they called me there after they already closed the salon. It was really nice. It was just nice, right? It was a cute idea, right? So it was something different. It was something cute, and it was just us. So I get like that is their home space. That is where they create. That is what they love. And they're kind of inviting you into that place that they love because they really like you, right? So he brought it there. I thought it was a nice gesture. But being that he had that nice rooftop, he could have also did it up there too. But anywho, I thought it was a cute idea, right? In terms of Marley's ex, a lot of people do this when they're going in transition, right? My thing is, why cheat, right? I always say that, like, why do people cheat? It's like, but a lot of them, they're cheating because they're trying to figure out, it was like, that song, Before I Let You Go, Before I Let Go. I always think of that song when people cheat, right? It's like, oh, let me test this out over here before I let you go. Let me make sure she's what I want or he's what I want before I let you go. So it's like, and that's where the concept of having your cake and eating it too. So couples get used to each other. And unfortunately, sometimes when they get used to each other, they take each other for granted, right? And so he took her for granted because she was always there. He wanted to test out something new, but then when she was gone, it was like, holy crap, I miss her, right? I miss everything about her. And so he wanted to come back around and get her. But I think the ultimate thing for me is, it's one thing to treat, right? It's a whole nother thing when you bring that person into our home, into our space, and then put it in our bed. Like, you have gone all the way low for me, and I'm good, right? And I think it's just absolutely disgusting, and it's the worst, right? You're allowing this person, because people are crazy. So now this person, they know where I live, right? They know, they've been in my space. They done touch my stuff. Like, you understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so if this person snaps, they could come get me anytime because I'm not going to be expecting, and they know what I look like and I don't know what they look like. So I just think it's so low when you cheat is the worst anyway. But then you cheat and you bring that person into our home, or that person even knows our address and where we live. Cheating is wrong all around, but go back to old school where they told the side chick, mind your business. Don't you ever talk to my wife about her. You trying to get in touch with my wife, call my wife or whatever. I'm going to be done with you. But these side chicks now, they know your name, your address, what you look like, and you don't know nothing about them. They could come bop your side of the head and you wouldn't know no different. So I just think that, to me, he created the ultimate sin. And he can go kick rocks with no shoes on. But again, I love that she was strong enough, because a lot of times when we break up, and especially if it's somebody we live with, we've been so close with, when they come into our space and start apologizing, sometimes we break down. Sometimes we break down. But
Mhm.
I can say this now in my older years, because I broke down when I was younger. But I'll say this for sure, for the most part, and I'm not saying always, it's never always. For the most part, when you break up with them, be done. Don't look back, because
Mm,
they ain't gonna bring you nothing but heartache and pain. They don't change. Okay,
mm-mm,
they don't.
mm-mm.
They the same person, and they gonna be okay for 2.2 seconds, and the next thing you know, you be back down that same trouble road again. So let them go. Switch them out in the name of E. Switch them out.
Switch them out.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Marley, she's at the gym getting her workout on, okay, and push, okay. So, her and her trainer, they've been messing around with each other, okay. And so the trainer, he decides, I have a fiance, and we have an open relationship. And she's like, listen, I already told you, I won't be part of no mess. I won't be part of no drama. He was like, well, the thing is, we want you to be a part of this. We want you to come on. So, he looks at the wife or the fiance. The fiance looks over there and look at them. And so, yeah. So Jock and Mavis, they are, preparing for the photo shoot, preparing for the wedding. Jock says he's gone back to therapy. He knows where he went wrong, and he really wants to try to work things out. He wants to get back together. He's begging and pleading, and he just wants to get back on track, okay? Marley is preparing to do her little threesome. They in the locker room getting their little groove on, kissing, and all of that. And so, ding, ding, oh, the gym, the trainer, he's got another session. So he's like, well, y'all, I forgot I got another session. I got to dip out, but we can pick this up another time, okay? Well, they didn't want to pick it up another time. Him and his fiance, Marley and his fiance wanted to continue on. So they kept on doing their thing and getting their jig on without him, okay? So the dogs are getting married. Mavis rolls the ball down the road. The dog walks down, and so Avery pronounced them husband or dog and dog or whatever they were. Well, Avis just gets a little overly emotional and just breaks out in tears, honey. I mean, she was just toe up, toe down, because she's seen herself and she's seen her time wasted for 10 years almost now, and she still ain't got no ring on it. Imagine dating somebody for 10 years, and this is the man you think you're going to marry and have kids with, and then boom, he cheat on you. And not cheat on you only, but cheat on you with a skinny girl. The shade of it all, okay? So Khalil and India are walking back from their day.
Skinny girl. Well, go ahead.
What'd you say?
I said not a skinny girl.
Well, yeah, I mean,
no, I know what you mean. I'm joking with
you. I know, but Mavis was real bad about that, because she was like,
She was like, you pretty much, you SOB. She
was. Yes. Mm-hmm. So Khalil and India, they're walking back from their little date. And so, they're having casual conversation, kikiing and hee-heeing. And so they get to her place. And so she's like, well, you coming up, trying to give her a moment. And he's like, I think we should leave it here. And just how I looked at exactly how India looked, because I was like, what? Like, India here? Like, what are we doing? Like, we mutually.
And I was loving it.
No.
That's exactly where it should have been left at.
We established 8 weeks ago that we was just screwing around, okay? So don't get your feelings. See, this be the problem. I can't tell you what I want, and then you want to come with a different agenda. If I told you what I want and what we doing, and you don't like it, you need to move on to somebody else. Because it's going to bring us to what happened at the end of this season, but we ain't going to get there, okay? We ain't going to go there right now, right? But she told this man, you an F-boy, and I'm cool with that, okay? He drops her off and says, no, we need to leave stuff at that, kiss her on the forehead, and sends her on her way. And she's confused. Because it's like, well, are we breaking up now? Like, see, but the people of y'all's generation, Y'all don't know nothing
Yeah.
about hooking up. Y'all don't know nothing about hooking up and just screwing and just keeping it
Isn't.
right
You know what, Roy? Honestly, right? And again, like you said, our generation, however you want to say it,
there. To unclutch your pearls, honey. I hear them about to break off.
question girls.
Oh
You
my.
you know what though? Honestly, Roy, something we could teach her is that all jokes aside, there's a thing as such as soul ties,
Mm.
and when you look into that, you realize that your body is precious,
Mm-hmm.
and you know who you lend it to and who you let be a part of that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Mm-mm.
um, and then people wonder why they get in relationships that they really want and they can't connect to that person and it doesn't work, is because all of those other relationships are in the bed with you because you didn't release them and let them go. um I've never been one for the casual thing. That's me, and I don't judge nobody. Do what you do. Okay. You know, because I got girlfriends, I'd be like, girl, you got to calm down. She said, don't worry about me.
Don't worry
You
about me.
know,
That's right.
ah,
Mind your
don't
business.
worry about me. I'm good. She said, you do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. But I do think that a lot of times people have trouble connecting with somebody when they meet them and really like them and want to connect with them, because in your mind, body, and soul, you keep playing out the things of this other person that your new person perhaps is never going to live up to because they're not that other person. And then it destroys what you could have, um, versus, you know, and you're constantly missing out, missing out, missing out, missing out, missing out. So I just love the way they have his character, just so genuine, and just really when it came time for him to get serious and respect a female, that's what he's trying to do. So he's trying to help transition her into how he really wants to treat her. I don't want to be that person anymore where we just have sex. I want to be something more to you. I want us to have something more. I want us to have something deeper, something.
Mhm.
So I again appreciated the writing in this series because I just thought it was on time every time. And I thought it was great. Now the whole threesome thing, um, I wasn't here for it. I feel like all of these series, a lot of times, they want to show us different personalities in the characters, right? And when you have these group of friends lately, just like with the series Harlem, they always got to put like a person, for lack of a better word, that's so freaky and so loose and so, you know, whatever. Um, and I think that her particular character, I felt like she was the most professional, so to speak. And just
Agreed.
because you're professional doesn't mean that you can't, you know, explore and be okay with your sexuality or whatever. But I just thought this threesome thing, I'm like, where did this come from? I didn't
I
Agreed.
thought it would have fit right well with you because your girl Candy be down with all of this stuff too. So I figured you was gonna
You
fit right
like to play. You like to play. Well, see, I ain't gonna fall into the trap. I ain't gonna fall into the booby trap on this good Saturday here. I'm not gonna fall into the booby trap. You like to play. I ain't falling into but you. But you know,
Agreed.
I just felt like I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't her character from what I
Mhm.
knew from the beginning up until that point. I was like, okay, this came out of nowhere for me, right?
Mhm.
And then when the guy left and it was just her and the girl, I was like, okay, I just felt like it came out of nowhere. I
What's
think
the
if
name?
they were going to present that, they should have had a scene where she was talking to the friends and been like, you know what, lately I've been feeling like I'm liking girls, or something like that. That's just the way I
well
felt like. Go
in
ahead.
the therapy session as we go forward. You know, in the therapy session, they talked about her and her husband previous or her ex having threesomes previously before.
They did, but they didn't
But
introduce to us prior to that.
Well, and to
but
me
could
as
it been
well,
with? Could
the
it have
situation with
been with
the
someone
boardroom.
who didn't look like her granddaughter? I mean, it looked that the it just didn't. It seemed so awkward because the young lady was so young. It was so not. It just didn't connect. I mean, because Marley was the most professional out of the group. It just wasn't needed. I just it didn't I didn't understand it. I really it wasn't it just didn't connect to the story of who Marley was.
I think it
I just didn't understand it.
staying connected, her being in a male dominant field. You remember back in the first couple of episodes where they showed her in the boardroom running the men, telling the men what to do. It, for me, of my generation, it was giving boss bitch who's a lesbian.
Then
That's
she should have been sleeping with white men. I would rather have her sleeping with white men than have her sleeping with an 18-year-old.
that girl was not a well. Mavis was the one sleeping with harassing 18-year-olds.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what? Well, here's the thing. I didn't, the scene was the scene because that's what they do now. Fine, right? But my thing is, I think they could have transitioned us into that scene a little better. I do think the girl was pretty young. Now, later on, when she meets the doctor, I won't go into it like heavy. That seemed a little more like, her speed and her age range and all of that. That I felt was a little different. That particular scene, I just felt like it wasn't her character. Like, here I am, I'm just here, and I'm gonna go ahead and agree to this random threesome. I don't know, but I don't know if people that are into threesomes are they into random threesomes. Like, see me, and again, you can attribute it to me and my generation. I don't know. I just can't be getting with nobody that I don't even know.
Men or women.
Early 2000s, we the girls be doing
No,
things now in the 2000s,
no.
dressed out and be okay with it. We walk down the street with our ass hanging out and be okay with it. So.
We don't know.
But no, in all honesty, for real, if y'all look at the world and our society, what they are displaying on this show, this is what society is today. This is
facts. Facts.
Look at the Lakers player, Dwight Howard.
Yeah, you're speaking facts. You're speaking facts, but the thing is that I struggle with it, and I struggle with it a lot because I feel like all of these things that are going on now is breaking up the family unit.
Yeah.
Right? And broken family units just lead to all of this chaos that we have going on in the world today too. I just feel like it's just so much chaos, and I think a lot of it is happening because of these broken family units. Just like, as much as I am okay with social media for the benefits that it has, I hate social media for the convenience of the messiness that it has also. It's like people slide into DMs and just, get into all kind of shenanigans so much quicker now, because before you might have had to actually physically go out to a bar to meet somebody, or a club to meet somebody, or the movies, or wherever. Where now you can simply scroll on the social media and be like, oh, they cute. Let me DM them. And then if they answer, boom, it's a wrap. Y'all done. Right? And I think that, especially with the reality shows with these men, the temptation is insane. And you have to really be strong, or just shut off your DM messages, or stay off of social media. Because I also feel it, and it could have always been this way, but now they have the opportunity to be bolder because it's easier. They have easy access. I think these females are so bold, and I'm not saying the men don't have any responsibility, but I think these females are so bold, like, this man is married and you're sending like these nude pics or your butt hanging out. I just no respect. I think it's sad that as a female, someone is married and you're doing the most, right? And then you got the nerve. Now you want to get married, but you don't want nothing bad to happen in your relationship. But meantime, you don't wreck 27 relationships. Like, where does the thought process come on that, right? And as much as I love Kenya, and what she's going through with Mark is horrific. He's a beast. But again, you have to look back in your life and think about all the things you played around with when it was somebody else's marriage.
She's a beast.
Yeah.
And so, you other people's relationships. So she's getting back that beast that she was giving out.
Facts. Facts. So you just have to think about that. It's like, sit down and think about it. Here you are, just like I think one of the trending topics this week, we had the young lady who's the OnlyFans model, and you doing whatever you doing with this married man. And it's like, girl, what's your end game? I mean, does anybody really need things that bad? And so that's my whole thing, is like, never be attached to material things where you willing to sell your behind and your soul over a nickel, dollar, or dime. That to me is when you're at your lowest point, because she was like, oh, I like the things that he buys me. So you're willing to sleep with a married man because you like the things that he buys you. And my thing is, half the time these people don't even use protection, and it's like, that makes it even crazier for me. So this dirty dog is out in the street sticking in and moving wherever he can. Whether he tells you or not, he's still sleeping with his wife, and you're okay. Like, you're not afraid of any diseases, and these diseases now can kill you. Okay. So I don't get it, but to go back to the show, the scene to me kind of came out of nowhere. I think they could have did it a little better if they were going to do it, and had it transition a little bit well, because I also didn't see her as a type where I'm arriving at the gym and now he suggests a threesome and I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't see her as that particular type of character like they was portraying her initially. I don't know. I just didn't catch that from her. So I was like, oh, okay. That's what we doing? All right.
Okay. This is interesting.
You know what I'm loving though for you? Like, I love that it's different generations, so we got different perspectives. And I don't disagree. I understand where you coming from in your generation. I just think y'all crazy as I don't know what.
I agree with you, Diva.
Crazy as a bed bug. Crazy as a bed bug. I think y'all crazy.
So Savannah, did you have any thoughts on this?
Oh no, we can move on to the next scene. Okay. Oh, I'm good.
So Marley rushes to her therapist to share her experience. Okay, she feels liberated. She feels out of the box. She's been feeling everything that she's been, seeking to feel. Okay, and so her therapist had the conversation about sexuality, and growing up with heterosexual parents and growing up, with the mentality of being in a heterosexual relationship. And her therapist has a few questions for her. Have you ever been with females before? Have you ever been in a relationship without a male presence being involved? She explained one time in college, but the boyfriend was there and he liked it, so she didn't think that it was an issue. She said, has there ever not been a man at the center of your sexual experience and where you see yourself sexually? And she said no, that was the first time. And it just really kind of, for her, opened her eyes to see herself in a different light. Okay, so she's discovering herself, and sometimes people discover themselves in ways that they never thought that they would discover before. So that's what it looks like Marley is going through. Okay. Khalil and India, they have not talked. Khalil, he's confused her. Heck, he confused. He don't even know what he doing. Okay, so
excuse me. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Mavis goes over to Jock's place. Well, no, Mavis and Khalil have dinner together. They're sitting down talking and, are having drinks together. And so she asks how things went. He tells her about the date and she's like, so what did she say? And he was like, well, what do you mean? She didn't say anything. He was like, well, when you said you liked her, he was like, I didn't tell her I liked her. And she's like, just like I thought. So you didn't say you liked her? Like, she thinks that you broke up with her. You had dinner with her, kissed her on the forehead, and said peace. Like, this is not a date. Like, this is like,
It's
A
new to
ghosting
him. Give
moment.
him
You
a
ghosting
moment.
me. You are
Give him a
ghosting me.
moment.
Okay? You ghosting me. Okay? And we feel some type of way about it. And see, the ghosting is real because if y'all remember back in the first episode when Mavis hooked up with her one friend from back in the day, you know, he appreciated her for not ghosting him. Because she told him the truth. She said, listen, we just had a night. I made a mistake. He then gave her a hug and everything. He was so proud and so pleased. That's a shame that the people scared to be ghosted. Khalil out here ghosting, thinking people that they getting ghosted. This is just horrible, okay? So, you know, it wakes up in Khalil's mind that I done messed up, so I need to go back and say something to her, okay? So before we get there, Mavis runs on over to Jacques' house, okay? First of all, Jacques' place was lovely, and it would have been a struggle for me to give up that place, child. I definitely would have
Amazing. It's
Khalil in
amazing.
my life, you know, to come and drag me out the building, okay? So
Oh my God, I cannot.
she goes knock on the door. He opens the door. He got on her t-shirt. He watching Love and Basketball, which I have now realized is a problematic movie. So those of us it's problematic.
Why is it problematic?
What woman sits around and continues to fight for the love of a man who don't want her continuously cheating on her, doing her wrong, sleeping with other women, and then when you get in your career fall apart,
About 80% of the women in the world, unfortunately.
and 80% of the women are divorced. Look at Tina Knowles. Forgive me, Auntie. I'm so sorry, Mama T. Look at Tia. Look at Niecy Nash.
I'm just telling you what they do. Niecy Nash is a whole nother story in and of itself. So don't even go there. Don't even go there. But she wants to write a book having these women out here with the foolery, thinking they gotta go slob on the knob every single night. The key
With peanut butter and jam.
She could have played Marley.
Never wearing her man. Get out of here. I'm not. Now I love her relationship with her partner that she's with now, but she need to stop. That's why I tell people stop reading these books that these celebrities write because they just want to make money. Told the people every night you need because that's how I keep my husband happy.
Well, he may have been happy, but she wasn't happy. She got tired of slapping on the knob.
So don't be telling another female that's what she need to do.
And having
men out here thinking that's what's going to be done.
She wanted to be like Monique, and she wanted her lily pad lit. Okay?
Child, don't get me started now.
Oh my God. Okay, so her and Jock, they're having their conversation. Ooh, we got to hurry up, y'all. So
I just can't. My mouth is open again.
Because Warrior playing.
When you come over to Warrior's world, you don't know what's gonna fall out of Warrior's mouth. So be prepared, okay? Yeah. So, you know, they're talking. He really realizes that he made a mistake. He has made changes. He done hung pictures. He done moved knives, and he take off his shoes now when he come in. All of the stuff that Mavis has been asking him to do. He's just now doing it now that she's gone. Ain't that a coincidence? And so, you know, they're listening to, you know, I'm going through changes. The song came on. She said, this is the song you listening to, like, really right now. They dancing around. They're having a throwback moment. You know, they just having a little moment, okay? Well, he says, Mavis, please come back. And she said, I can't for two things. And you know what? This scene resonated with me, and it brought me back to last week's episode when she told Khalil and Marley that she did not want to be like Natasha, burying an ex-husband, you know, bitter, upset, throwing dildos in the casket because she want to expose him. She said, I don't want to be like that. I want to be at peace. I want to be at happiness. And I really feel like she needed that moment to close the door of that relationship before, or if she chooses to open up another door to another relationship, okay? So I thought that was a very powerful moment. She came in there. She let him know, I love you, boo, but I got to go. We've had our time together, and I want one more thing. My Japanese spa toilet. Hand it over. She got her toilet. She went home, and her new man was waiting for her at the doorstep. It was a beautiful thing, y'all. That was episode 4. Miss Savannah, your thoughts and opinions on this final episode in the show overall?
And give me 2 minutes for you. I'll be right back.
Mhm.
Whew. Oh, well, yeah.
Look, you weren't
Okay.
expecting this kind of live today, was
Sure
you?
was, sure was. Oh my God, it sure was. But I love it. With Khalil and Mavis, I swear, it reminds me so much of my friend group. A couple of my friends there, but I love how Mavis helped him realize that his form of communication was so off and so wrong that she helped him realize that he had to verbally communicate to India what he wanted from her and what he needed, what he was trying to convey to her, that he wanted a relationship with her, that he wanted to have more, that what she was, what he by him walking her home and that what he was signaling to her was that he was ghosting her, that he was ending it, and he, but what he was trying to convey was that he wanted more than that. But what she picked up was that he was ghosting her, and the way men and women communicate are off. And I love that she helped him realize that he had it wrong. So he needed to go back and verbalize what he wanted from her and let her know. So I love that men need to communicate to women. We're not mind readers. Let us know what you want. And I love that. That really really that scene right there between those two friends, I love how Mavis helped him realize that that needed to happen between him and India in order for that relationship to further along. And the scene where the sun, I believe that's when the sun came out, correct?
Ooh, okay. No, he came out. Yes, it was that night. Yes, it was that night. I forgot about that. Thank you so much. So yes, the sun did come out.
Okay, and he didn't run away, so I love that too because he realized, oh, she has a son, and he didn't run away, and I love that because that could have been an easy, oh, I'm out, and he
Look
didn't
on his
run
face
away,
said, "I want to run away," but he didn't
No,
run
it did
away.
not. Don't do
and he
that.
did.
Don't do that. It did not. Don't do that. Don't
It
do that.
might,
He
He
cut
but
was
he,
today.
right.
You cut it up today.
No,
you
it was
are.
right. A kid.
But he didn't, and I love that, and he didn't. So and so I love that he didn't. So as far as Jock and Mavis and her going back to the house, I'm glad that she was able to be strong, because when you go back to what's familiar to you, to the what's, when you go back and you enter what's safe, you go back to those familiar smells and those familiar to that familiar environment where you were once welcomed and what felt like home before. It's easy to be vulnerable and fall back into, I'm back home, and you can return and into a false sense of, okay, I'm back. And I was scared there that she was going to return for a moment. And I was like, oh my, please don't return. So I was scared that Jacques was going to lure her back in. And so I was worried for my girl there for a moment. So you seen her leave at the end, because when she said, I just need one thing from you, and seeing her walk out with the toilet, because I kept hearing her talking about her bidet at the throughout the first four episodes. Seeing her leave with that bidet at the end, I was like, yeah, that's what she really wanted after all. But when because when she was in the arms of her chocolate man, I seen her melting more and more. I was like, oh, she's falling. She is in and she's not coming out. She's in and she's not coming out. So I was worried about her for a minute. She was falling prey. And but well, definitely you'll be on next week for episode 5. I will be here.
Yes, I will be. Episode 4 and 5. I believe I'm gonna do it on my members only, because I really want to get a little deeper into some conversation. I don't want to do that on my live. So um $2.99 a month. Subscribe.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Be back there
Mhm.
having look. Now be ready next week, Savannah, because if you thought I was something on this live now, listen, honey. You know, if you've been watching the show, it get deeper. So we got to have some real deep conversations. We got to be real now.
I'm about to run and smoke with you.
Oh God, I cannot. Yikes.
Auntie
So
Diva, your final thoughts.
my final thoughts is ditto to everything Savannah said. I mean, I love the way, because so many movies we get a dog character as the men,
Yeah.
and they gave us a balance here because they gave us Marley's right, am I confusing characters now? They gave us her man, where what's her name, Mavis. They gave
Maybe.
us Mavis man, where she went back there, and as Savannah stated, like familiar and safe and comfortable, sometimes you will let all your common sense go to go back to comfortable and safe. So I love her strength throughout this series when it came to him and not kind of falling back for the most part, right? Um, when it comes to Khalil, the fact that when he saw the sun, that didn't change his mind, that to me, if I was her, I would have been like, wow, like this man really wants to have something real with me and something different, because now that he knows the reason why I partly was just doing things the way I was because of my child, and he's okay with that, and he didn't run and hide, and he didn't want to turn back to the old relationship we had. To me, it spoke volumes. And again, I just love the way he's a great actor too. I just love the way he handled it. I love that whole scene. It really, really touched my heart, because a lot of in real time, a lot of single moms out there, it's really hard to get some. I don't want to say all the time. Nothing I say is like 100% of the time, right? But it's really hard to get someone out there that truly cares about you and doesn't want to come into your life and just play with your life because you have children, right? So the way he handled that, I just thought was so great. And yeah, Mavis told him right, like, look, dude, you messing up, but that's why it's great to have a mixture of friends, like males and females, because sometimes they could tell you like, you did what happened, well, this is what he is really thinking, because we make up stuff in our mind instead of communicating, right?
Mhm.
So we make up stuff in our mind like, oh, you haven't called me in 7 days, like what's going on, you ghosted me, and it could be something else. But until we communicate, you're going to make up this stuff in your mind, and normally what you make up in your mind is not so, right? It's not that deep as you made it up to be in your head. And then there are times where people just straight up ghosting you, right? And what I also like too is, I like when people have the strength to just tell someone, so they're not making stuff up in their mind, and they're not feeling some type of way, and they're not lowering their self-esteem, and by just saying, you know what, I thought I could handle this, I'm not ready. Or you know what? I just don't want to be in a relationship right now. I just don't want to be in a relationship with you, right? Because when I think about this, I think about what is that show, The Real? And I think about her name is slipping my mind right now. The one girl on there that she kept saying she never wanted to have kids with her husband, like period.
Uh,
Jeannie Moore.
Teeny
She,
Mine.
yeah, she never wanted to have kids. Well, the truth really was, you never want to have kids with your husband,
Mhm.
because literally the moment you broke up with him and met your current husband, y'all had this baby and so forth and so on. And I think it's so unfair to have people thinking it's dumb, or this is not what you really want, or it's something they need to fix, when the whole time is you're just over that person. And although it may hurt the person, I give people kudos when they sort of are able to be strong enough to tell the person what the real problem is versus a lie. And then they're trying to fix a lie, and their relationship still doesn't work, but it's not working because you never tell them the real truth, that you just don't want them no more. So, I can appreciate the person who's strong enough to tell their truth, even if their truth is going to hurt the other person. Because listen, either way, the person's going to get hurt. They either going to get hurt now or later, right? Because the truth will always surface. So, just really like, again, well written series. And I would suggest anybody like watch it. And you know, the thing about Netflix is you get hooked. You be like, no, I'm gonna stop here and watch another episode later, and then it rolls right into the next one, and then you find yourself sitting there watching the next one. You like, oh my god, I gotta get up, I gotta stop, I gotta watch those.
I literally watched this in like one day, literally.
Absolutely.
Like I started it real late on a Friday night and I finished it an early Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, this was so good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to, as I did when I reviewed Grown in Gospel, I am going to reach out to a couple of the actors on this show, and I'm going to see if we can get an interview with Michelle or with Tasha or with any of the other beautiful actors and actresses who were on this project, and see if we can kind of get a behind the scenes look on how things went down, how the show, you know, how they feel about the characters. I would love to do that. So I'm going to be on the lookout and be reaching out to them so that we can get an interview, y'all, and have some real conversations, y'all.
Absolutely.
This has been a fabulous time. Y'all hit the like button on this video. If you are not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and the share button. This afternoon, we will be heading over to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva to do our book club, 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty, how to find it, how to keep it, and sometimes you just got to damn near let it go, okay?
Let it go.
Let it go. 4:30 Eastern Standard Time.
What chapter are we on? We're on chapter 6.
Yeah, what chapter?
We're rule number 6, because we did 5 last week. Rule number 6.
Okay, so y'all join us at 4:30 for Rule 6, 8 Rules of Love. On the last love rule, Rule 8, Auntie Diva is going to give away a book, you all. So make sure you're tuning in, make sure you're listening out, and make sure you're joining in on the conversation. You know, it always is fun for us to get up on our channels and to, you know, talk by ourselves, but it's even more fun when people can come in and join in on the conversation with us. So y'all make sure y'all go through. If you're not a subscriber over there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with y'all in mind. Okay. I think that is all. Happy Saturday, y'all. I love y'all. I will be doing it next Saturday. It will be on my members only. So it's $2.99 a month. You can go to my channel and hit join, and we're just going to have a deeper dive conversation. We'll kind of go back over episodes 1 through 4, and then we'll go on and finish off 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8. So hit that join button, $2.99 a month. Be a part of Prince Royer's Club. I appreciate y'all. Auntie Diva also has a members only page, so make sure y'all go subscribe to her members only as well, okay? Anything else?
Have a good Saturday.
Have a good Saturday, everybody. Love y'all.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. World. Bye.
Bye.
Warriors World.